I think I'ma just be single until Jesus come, and then I'ma just ask him, do he want to be with me? Because at this point, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm about to cry just think about it. I don't know what the fuck to do.
March 4th, 2023. A date circled in anticipation. For 26-year-old India Kinamore, it was supposed to be the most beautiful day of her life. Her bags were packed for the hospital. Her baby's name, Kyren, was already whispered in her prayers. A new chapter of motherhood was hours away. But instead of hospital monitors and newborn cries, neighbors heard gunfire. Instead of India holding her baby, she was found lying in her apartment, lifeless. Kyren never took his first breath.
Breaking tonight back at home, Kyren police announced arrests in a cold case involving the murder of a pregnant woman.
So this all happened back in 2023. 26-year-old India Kinamore was pregnant when she was shot on Hidden Meadows Drive. She and her unborn child were killed. Tonight, Kyren police announcing the arrests of 3 men for the murders.
Her mother, Terry, was left with the unimaginable pain of burying not just her daughter, but also the grandson she had longed to meet. A double loss that tore open a wound no justice system could fully heal. One truth soon emerged that made the tragedy even harder to comprehend. Could the father of India's unborn child, the man who should have been her protector, have been part of the plan to end her life? This question shadows every detail of the case. India never got to cradle her son, and Terry will never watch her daughter smile as a mother. If their silence weighs on your heart, subscribe now, so their story is remembered and never silenced. Do you believe love can ever be real if it hides secrets so heavy they destroy lives? Welcome to Forensic True Crime Stories, where we share true crime stories based on real events that deserve to be told. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you never miss a new story. This story will be taking us to Cincinnati, Ohio. India Nicole Kinamore was born on May 12, 1996, in Cincinnati, Ohio. For 26 years, her world revolved around family, laughter, and the hope of building a future that felt bigger than herself. By early 2023, her joy had one name, Kyren. She was carrying her first child, a baby boy. She picked his name, decorated his nursery, and counted down the days to March 4th, the day she would finally meet him. To India, motherhood wasn't just a milestone. It was a dream taking shape. Her own mother, Terry Kinamore, would later describe the heartbreak.
I never gave up. There was a lot of people that just thought that this case would never be solved. And I have faith in God. I know that God can do anything. I'm able to come back and tell her that the people that did this to her, they have been caught and justice will be served. I just don't know why someone would want to do something like that. Not to just one person, but 2 people.
She never got that chance, and he never got the chance to feel his mother's arms. One sentence, a lifetime of grief. India's story isn't just about tragedy. It's about who she was before the nightmare. A young woman preparing for life, with love in her eyes and excitement in her voice. The kind of person you feel you already knew, even if you didn't. If you believe India and Kyren deserve to live their story, subscribe right now. Don't let silence erase them. Do you think someone's true character is revealed in how they prepare for parenthood, or how they avoid it?
Hello.
Man, I think me and you need some space, man.
Space? What you mean, like space or space?
Space as in separate.
Okay, well, you can go in the living room and I go in the other room. What you talking about?
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about seeing other people. Like, meet other people.
Okay, then, you want to meet other people?
Yup.
You want to meet other people?
Yup.
Okay, I tell you what then. You can meet God, and I'm going to go meet the judge. Them the only doggone people you going to meet. Stop here with me. You with me until you die, okay?
For 2 years, India Kinamore shared her life with Kyren Warren, the man she believed would stand beside her as she became a mother. To friends, he was the father of her unborn son. To India, he was supposed to be a partner, a protector. By March 2023, the reality was far from stable. Kyren was juggling another relationship. His finances were collapsing. He faced eviction and debt that seemed impossible to escape. And as India's belly grew, so did his desperation. Prosecutors say Warren begged India to end the pregnancy, but she refused, choosing hope over fear. That decision created a fracture he couldn't accept. Instead of walking away, they claim, he began shaping a plan that would silence her and the child she carried. The man who should have been her anchor was, according to investigators, the very one preparing to cut her life short. A betrayal that turned the promise of family into a countdown to murder. India trusted the father of her child. If betrayal this deep shakes you, subscribe, because silence only helps the betrayers. Do you think financial stress is ever an excuse for destroying the people who trust you most? In the weeks before India's due date, Kyren Warren wasn't preparing for fatherhood. Prosecutors say he was sitting with Robert Irvin and Lamar Morris Suggs, laying out a plan that would forever change lives. The story they built was meant to look simple, a burglary gone wrong. Kick in a door, stage a break-in, make it look like India was caught in the middle. But investigators later said nothing about it was simple. Every move pointed to design, not chance. The most chilling clue? Kyren reportedly asked for bereavement leave from work before the shooting ever happened. While India was packing for the hospital, he was preparing paperwork for her funeral. This wasn't a flash of anger. It wasn't an accident. Authorities argue it was a decision carried out step by step, leaving India and her unborn son defenseless inside her own home. If hearing about someone planning bereavement for a death they caused makes your stomach turn, subscribe now to stand against this kind of cruelty. Does planning a crime in detail make it more unforgivable than acting in a moment of rage?
All I'm gonna say is to the man that get her, he lucky. But to the man that keep her, he's smart.
At 5 a.m., the quiet of Hidden Meadows Drive shattered. A door forced open. Heavy steps crossed the threshold of India Kinamore's apartment. Surveillance inside captured what no family should ever hear, India's screams. Her voice carried desperation, fear, and the instinct of a mother trying to protect the life inside her. Seconds later, silence. Gunfire ended it. India never made it to the hospital. Kyren never took a breath. 2 lives stolen in the space of heartbeats. The intruders tried to sell a story of robbery. Doors broken, rooms disturbed, but investigators quickly saw through it. Nothing of value was taken. The chaos was staged, designed to cover the truth. India's last screams were caught on tape, but her voice is gone. Subscribe if you believe her story deserves to keep speaking. Should surveillance footage of someone's final moments ever be shown to the public, or should it stay sealed forever? Police entered the apartment expecting signs of a robbery. But almost instantly, the story broke apart. Nothing was missing. Nothing of value was touched. The break-in had been staged. Detectives widened their focus. Phone records, location data, surveillance cameras. Each piece pointed in one direction, toward Kyren Warren, Robert Irvin, and Lamar Morris Suggs. The men India should have been safest around were now at the center of suspicion. India's mother, Terry, was forced to hear the surveillance audio. Her daughter's last screams. The fear in her voice. Terry later admitted those sounds never left her. Echoes of a night she couldn't change. What began as doubt hardened into evidence. The phone activity, the travel paths, the timing, they all lined up. Investigators now had more than questions. They had proof of planning, movement, and motive. If you believe justice only exists when we refuse to ignore evidence, subscribe and keep cases like India's alive. Should evidence from cell phones be enough to convict, or is it too easy to misinterpret?
I ain't saying you can't do what you want to do. I just ain't going for it.
Kyren Warren, at 30 years old, he was supposed to be preparing for fatherhood. Instead, prosecutors called him the mastermind. The man India trusted with her future is now accused of planning her end. Robert Irvin, just 20 years old, investigators placed him nearby the apartment that night. Phone records linked him to Kyren in those critical hours. His response? That he had no ties to the killing, a claim prosecutors challenged with evidence. Lamar Morris Suggs. At 22, Suggs was named as the alleged gunman. By the time indictments were handed down, he was already serving time in prison on unrelated charges. Authorities say his role in India's death sealed the chain of betrayal. Together, the three men faced 13 charges, including 2 counts of murder, 4 of aggravated murder, plus burglary and assault. Each charge carries the weight of not just India's death, but Kyren's as well. India's unborn son never breathed a single breath. Subscribe if you believe his life mattered just as much as hers. Do you think unborn children should have the same legal protection as their mothers in murder cases? After India's murder, time passed with no arrests. Days became months. Months became years. For over 2.5 years, her mother Terry carried grief with no closure, forced to wonder if anyone would ever answer for her daughter's death. In August 2025, indictments were finally filed. Kyren Warren and Robert Irvin were taken into custody. Lamar Morris Suggs, already behind bars for another crime, was added to the list of the accused. Families felt a wave of relief knowing arrests had finally come. But the delay raised painful questions. Why did it take so long? How could India's case sit in silence while her loved ones suffered with no answers? The arrests set the stage for the courtroom. The charges were heavy, the evidence was strong, but the silence of those missing years left wounds that no verdict could easily heal. 2 years without justice. Subscribe so we can keep the pressure on for families like India's who are forced to wait. Do you think delayed justice is justice denied? Or can prosecutors be right to wait until they're sure?
Yesterday, police charged 20-year-old Robert Irving, 30-year-old Kyren Warren, and 22-year-old Lamar Morris Suggs, all with 2 counts of murder each. Irving and Warren went in front of a judge today. Prosecutors say all 3 men conspired to kill Kinamore and her unborn child. The victim's mother, Terry Gilmore, spoke in court. She revealed her daughter was in a relationship with Warren and pregnant with his child.
When Kyren Warren and Robert Irvin first appeared in court, each was held on a $600,000 bond. For families still grieving, it felt like placing a dollar amount on justice. Warren's defense painted a picture: no prior record, a steady job, a man who claimed he wanted his baby. They argued he had no reason to kill the woman carrying his son. Prosecutors countered with the evidence, plans laid out, steps taken, and the chilling request for bereavement leave before India was even gone. They argued this wasn't impulse, it was intent. While Warren and Irvin fought over bond, Lamar Morris Suggs stayed behind prison walls on another conviction, waiting to face his role in India's murder. All 3 now face the possibility of life in prison if convicted. For Terry and the rest of India's family, no sentence can erase the pain, but conviction could finally bring acknowledgement of the truth. If the thought of someone arguing for freedom after planning a murder makes you angry, subscribe now. Don't let the courtroom spin and silence the truth. Should bonds even be offered in murder cases? Or should suspects wait behind bars until trial? Terry Kinamore never stopped believing this day would come. I never gave up. Now I can tell her justice is coming. Her words carried both relief and sorrow, as if speaking directly to India across the silence. India and baby Kyren now rest side by side in Spring Grove Cemetery. A daughter and her unborn son, 2 lives buried together, their story cut short before it even had the chance to begin. The story began with anticipation of new life and ended with a double loss. What was meant to be India's happiest day became her final one. Our deepest condolences go out to the family and loved ones of India Kinamore and her unborn son, Kyren. India was a young mother filled with hope, love, and anticipation for the life she was about to welcome. That joy was stolen in the most tragic way, leaving behind a void that can never be filled. May her memory live on as a reminder of the beauty of her spirit and the love she carried for her child. We stand with her family, especially her mother Terry, in prayers and solidarity as they continue to seek justice and healing. May India and baby Kyren rest peacefully together, forever cherished and never forgotten. The hardest lesson? Sometimes the greatest danger doesn't come from strangers on the street, but from the people we trust with our hearts. India's voice is gone, but her story lives on. Subscribe and make sure the world never forgets her or baby Kyren. Do you think love can ever blind someone so much that they miss the warning signs, even when those signs are screaming? Dear viewers, if you found this investigation insightful, kindly like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for future updates. It will mean a lot to us and encourage us to keep bringing you these true crime stories. Thanks for watching till the end, and until our next video, stay safe.